This was most definitely peak Fruits Basket quality content. I mean, anytime you have the characters, not one, not two, a handful of characters have to face the fear and anxiety that they try to run away from, or just see a character not really run away from it, but just really flex how far they've come, such as Kyo. Like, look at him a year ago compared to where he is now. Or you have someone like Toru who really tries to put on the face that she's perfect and she's not in trouble, and breaks down and cries and says, "Why do you do this? You should just act like I'm okay. I can't stop. I shouldn't be doing this." And you just have someone like Yo who's just smiling and being like, "You're such a crybaby." But that's exactly what she needed. Not someone to push her away, but just let her decompress. There's so many people in life that you'll end up being surrounded by that hold those types of feelings down, saying you should be strong or you're overreacting. And it doesn't matter whether they are or not. It doesn't matter if Toru suffered or she just is having a bad day. That type of stuff should be encouraged just to let it out rather than bottling it in. And to really see this with episode 2 of season 2 of Fruits Basket, it just really goes to show how far the characters have come, but how much further they still have left to go. And you know it's going to be a painful and happy journey all along the way. That has me excited. I mean, I loved the final moments of this episode. I thought it was incredible. And this was definitely a very Kyo-focused episode. Last week it was definitely more Yuki-centered, with also some side characters, which was great. This one was all Kyo, and we get to see some pretty painful aspects of his life that I wasn't expecting this early, but I'm not complaining in the slightest. When they go over to Cosmo's and how he basically gets a call from Kyo's father, and they have a talk, I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. I thought it was obviously going to be a heated discussion, but I wasn't expecting it to be as bad as it is. And one of the things that I've always really loved about Fruits Basket and the whole Zodiac curse is that parents are either going to be super great or super shitty to you. It's going to be one or the other. You're not going to get a middle ground. And, you know, you want to hate the guy, and I'm not going to say I hate the guy. I don't like him. I can definitely say I do not like his biological father, but there's so much with this curse that we just don't understand because we don't have to suffer through it, and it just causes you to be manipulated and be a lot worse of a person than you probably would have started out as. But I do love how the conversation went. It was absolutely top tier. Everyone and their mother can agree that the true father, the true parental figure in Kyo's life, it was not the biological. That's gone. You know, after the mother's death and basically being disowned, no, it's Cosma. 100%. And I like how, instead of being super cliche or super emotional, like he slaps his face or he punches him down, throws him down for basically insulting who he considers a son, rather he just says it how it is. He basically says, you know, you put a lot of blame on him, but have you ever taken a look in the mirror? Is it really one person that caused this, or maybe the blame can be shared? And I love how his logic here is that he's looking at what his son has done over the past year. Where he started off crying and ashamed and just feeling like he was stuck in a rut, to a year later having connections and support that actually are letting him smile and be a human, not feel like he's a monster. And his words to Kyo saying, as he didn't actually say it, but it was just like his internal thoughts, but those thoughts are basically saying, as long as you keep growing, I will continue to protect you. I love that, because it's not like he's blinded by saying, you know, I'm just going to let him stay in a rut. No, he's very much wanting him to grow. And that's why when someone like that is just like throwing it in his face, he says, I don't do this for money. I don't do this for anything other than I love the kid. That's basically what it is. And that's why he's not a father and he is. I love that, because that's a dangerous route to go down, going against the head of the clan, going against people who would basically wish harm upon him and his son. But he really respects and loves Kyo, and it's really nice to see what he's willing to do and put himself in danger. Could he lose his dojo? Could he lose something even worse? Could he lose his life? You just don't know, because it is such a toxic minefield, and at every which moment you could step on something and self-destruct. I love how it feels like this was really saying, not only has Kyo especially grown a hell of a lot over the past year, not only that, it feels like there's some bonds there that are 100% solid and they are not going away. And his father figure definitely is one. Biological one can drop dead. We don't care about that. But the real father figure, absolutely. It was really great to see, just like when you look at it, like everyone watching Fruits Basket can notice the growth Kyo has gone through. But every time we get more flashbacks into his past, it really hammers in why a character like Cosmo would be so worried and scared. and then so happy to see what he is like around someone like Toru. And I've always loved the connection between Toru, Yuki, and Kyo, because there's always going to be the shipping wars. That's always going to happen, even if romance wasn't a part of the actual story. It's always going to happen. But for me, I've always loved the three's relationship because all three of them are very, very broken, and they all need something different in life. And you don't know who she's going to end up with, if it's going to be one of them or a completely different character. You don't know that unless you've read the source material. And what I love about that is you can make your predictions and you can dissect it in a way. I've always said that it feels to me like Kyo's relationship with Toru is a lot more romantic than hers with Yuki's. Yuki's and hers, it's still, I don't know what I want to claim it as, but it definitely still feels more like a family relationship than anything. But he's probably very confused on what he's feeling due to how his family treated him. But still, it doesn't matter who she ends up with. It matters how the relationship flourishes, how they build that. And I'm really loving how, like, when they bring it up in such a very comedic way, with her friends being like, oh, you know, you're probably going to marry one of these two. And, like, yeah, they get embarrassed, they get flustered, because they're still confused about their own feelings and they don't know. Fans will always try to ship characters because they think that's the one true pairing, but it's a matter of what the characters themselves want. And I love how, rather than just keeping the focus on the very cliche, ooh, who she's gonna end up with, who's the cutest of pairings, no, you look at their personality, you look at seeing what is their struggles, what can they do for each other as friends, what could they do for each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, family, things like that. That's what I love about Fruits Basket. It doesn't play by the norm, it doesn't play by the cliches, rather, it makes you focus on these characters and has you really interested in learning everything about their backstory, and then you take into consideration that past, you take into consideration that present, and you say, I wonder what the future could look like. Whether that's romantic, whether that's friendship, whether that's painful reality, it all works because it's incredibly well written. This episode was a very painful episode, but it also had a slight optimistic route to it. It felt like we ended on a good note. We felt like we started on a good note, but there was a lot of darkness to get there, and there's a lot of characters in this show who are scared to confront their feelings, that they feel alone, they feel scared. Toru herself is terrified of the future and what's going to happen after graduation. Can she make ends meet? Does she have the money? Will she be able to live? What will happen when she has to be the person to take care of herself? That is a scary feeling that basically everyone goes through. But so many people, they lock that away because you're supposed to feel brave. I can only imagine for someone like Toru, it's even worse than your average Joe because of everything that's happened to her. She is terrified, but she always smiles. And I love how by season 2, episode 2, we can have moments where she's crying, but she doesn't run away. She's doing little insults. She's saying, you know, you're bad, you shouldn't be doing this. And of course, Kyo is just laughing. Or Shigure will just open the door and basically startle him because he's always listening because he's such a prankster. But it's nice how these characters have truly flourished so damn well. And that's why episodes like these are just so memorable. And you feel like, oh man, this is like peak Fruits Basket, and you know you're just getting started. Because this is a show that it can slow down, it can be cute, it can be comfy, but goddamn can it be dramatic. And I love how when characters are horrible, you look at it and say, I absolutely hate your persona, but for me, I take into consideration the mechanics of this world, or the situations that put these characters in it. And I look at someone like Kyo's father and I say, you're a piece of shit. But also, we know the curse. We know how it messes with people. And we know that, you know, if we're put in those shoes, how could we deal with it if we lost the love of our life and just unnaturally we blamed the son? It could easily happen. Does it justify it? No. But people are human, and humans make a lot of dumb mistakes because we're emotional. And that's what's great about it. Rather than just saying good character, bad character, we just have messed up characters. Everyone's messed up in some ways. Some more than others, obviously, but that's what makes it great. And those real emotional scenes, the crying scenes, or having just shaking it down, saying, you're not a father, I am basically, the way they deliver that emotion, it feels so raw and vulnerable, and that's what really elevates a lot of these scenes into another level, that you're not looking at them as 2D drawings, but rather, these are people. Toru is a person, Kyo is a person, Yuki is a person, Kazuma is a person. They are people, despite being drawings, the way they're written, it's so good, and when you hear that voice acting quality, it just elevates it into being something real and genuine. And, I mean, we can't even deny the soundtrack does it equally well. I'm just loving my time with Fruits Basket. I always look forward to it. I've been looking forward to Season 2 ever since Season 1 ended. But holy shit, now that it's back, it almost feels like the wait is longer than the wait between Season 1 and 2. Maybe that's just me. But for me, like, I knew it was coming, and then I could just, like, focus my time on other anime in the meantime, kind of forget about Fruits Basket for a little bit, and not kind of like just be like, oh god, Fruits Basket, I need to see the next episode. But now that it's back, 7 days feels like an eternity, but I love it because you just can't help but get excited and theorize and speculate, dissect and analyze. And these characters are absolutely fantastic. Last year they were some of the best characters, and this year they're going to also be some of the best characters. What did everyone think of episode 2 of season 2 of Fruits Basket, and just the emotional pull that it pulled? What did you think? Favorite moment? Do let me know. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.